Clara Dao just officially ruined her life, and it all started with this video right here. She captioned it, 12 more days till I get cancelled again, hinting that she already knew exactly what was coming her way. Well, precisely that ended up happening, with multiple new controversies, a complete career shift, and no longer a single person speaking positively about her. It's really no surprise that she's gone on to lose everything. And what's weird is this isn't even the first time Clara's been in this position. About a year ago, I made a video on Clara Dao after she uploaded one of the most controversial videos on YouTube, where she gave advice that promoted extremely unhealthy habits. And back then, it genuinely felt like that was the moment she lost everything. She went on to lose over 200,000 subscribers, and her reputation looked like it was never going to recover. But somehow, things didn't end there, because instead of disappearing, or even just moving on, Clara stayed in the spotlight and slowly started to change. I'm in dart, and this is how Clara Dao managed to completely destroy her reputation a second time round. To understand why this is happening, you need to see who Clara used to be. When Clara Dao first started blowing up, her content was completely different. She wasn't known for controversy. Instead, she was known for teaching girls to be confident about their bodies. Her entire platform was built around the message that you didn't need to change yourself to feel confident, and for a lot of people, that actually meant something. You've helped me regain confidence about myself and my image. Thank you so much. Her videos started going incredibly viral as they were genuinely helping people. Many of her most popular posts have gained over 20 million views, with one even reaching 60 million. Because at the time, there weren't many creators openly talking about things like body image in the way that she did, especially when it came to something she built her entire identity around, which was being flat-chested. Instead of treating it like an insecurity, she turned it into her biggest strength. And that authenticity is what built her an audience of over 7 million on TikTok and YouTube combined. But that's also what made everything that happened next so much worse. Because roughly 1 year ago, that message started to fall apart. Clara uploaded a video that completely blindsided her audience. It was supposed to be advice on how she stays skinny, but a lot of people saw it as something way more harmful. The advice she gave was insanely unhealthy, and almost overnight, everything flipped. The same audience that supported her were now calling her out, receiving a 4-to-1 ratio of dislikes on that video. Many commentary YouTubers began to call her out, receiving millions of views diving into her disastrous uploads. But even then, this didn't completely destroy her career, because while a lot of people had turned on her, many still decided to stay. Some defended her, some gave her the benefit of the doubt, and some just hoped she would move on from it. But then, things got even more complicated. Not long after the backlash, Clara made a decision that confused a lot of her audience. She ended up getting a job done on herself, and on its own, that's not the issue. The problem was that it directly contradicted everything she had built her platform on. And that's when the audience split. Some people supported her, no matter what. However, others felt like they'd been misled from the beginning. But even then, it still wasn't over. Because this is where things could have gone one of two ways. She could have moved on, rebuilt her content, and let the controversy die out. Instead, she kept bringing it back. Even months later, Clara was still talking about being cancelled. Not just once or on the odd occasion, but over and over again. She couldn't go more than a week without bringing up her most infamous moment. And at one point, she even posted this. As mentioned in the intro, she captioned it, 12 days until I get cancelled again. It was almost like she knew something was coming. And that's where things started to feel different. Because at this point, it didn't feel like she was trying to move on anymore. It felt like she was leaning into it. The content started getting more dramatic and a lot more focused on reactions. And if you look at the numbers, it kind of makes sense. Every time she talked about the controversy, the views would spike. And every time she didn't, they weren't there. And all that led up to the moment that changed everything. Because Clara Dao announced that she had started an and instantly, everything changed. Not just a little bit of backlash, but almost everyone turning on her all at once. And the weird part is, this wasn't even the most controversial thing that she has done. Because at the end of the day, what she does with her body is her choice, and that's not really what people were reacting to. It was how she went about it. On April 3rd, 2026, she uploaded a video looking at her first day's earnings on the platform, where she claimed she only made 1 cent. Obviously, this was a way to publicize the fact that she was now posting this type of content. However, the comments weren't exactly on her side. Is this April Fool's? I'm so confused. Tell me you're kidding. The old Clara would be so disappointed. Somebody stated, honestly, one of the best April Fool's pranks I've seen, and she replied with, thank you. Although, unfortunately, this wasn't a prank at all, as she actually went on to make the account, and just by reading the description, you can tell something is incredibly wrong. We both know why you're here, winky face. This is not a prank, just the side of me you've been waiting for. Whether you're a fan of my natural body, or you're obsessed with the new me, I've got you covered. Pick your favorite version, or enjoy both, hee hee. To nobody's surprise, people started criticizing her new way of making money. I'm not trying to shame anyone for doing but there's just no way you're mentally all there if you have to resort to this to make money. I don't think she's doing it for the money. I think she likes attention. She needs therapy. Which is a fair point, because she has done multiple house tours showing off how rich she is, also mentioning that she came from an extremely wealthy family, so well off to the point where she wouldn't have to work a day in her life and still be living insanely comfortably.
A lot of people ask me, Clara, why did you start an OF? I thought you're rich and you come from a rich family. You don't need the money. Yes, that's true. I come from a family that probably don't have to work and I'll be fine.
For those who don't know the background of her wealthy family, she has posted a lot of house tours in the past, and it's been pretty well known that she comes from a pretty wealthy family, so it kind of makes sense that people would ask that question because obviously, a lot of different things is a job, and a lot of people do it in the goal of earning money.
And even then, if you want to know how much she made from starting this content, at her price of $13 a month, and she has over 4,000 subscribers, she made an easy $50,000 by doing practically nothing. Roughly 10 days later, she made a response video to clear up the confusion. According to Clara, the reason she made this decision was because she was bored and she likes going against expectations.
There's something inside of me, in my blood. I can't change it. Something inside me just wants to go against every social norm and what people expect of me, what I'm not supposed to do. I want to do that.
She also stated that her parents played a part in convincing her to go down the route she did.
And I was touring it with my mom and dad. For years, they have been telling me to, get a job and blah, blah, but
Wait, what? Her parents have been telling her for years to get a job? Despite the fact that she launched a very successful YouTube channel and TikTok account off of it? I mean, that is, very, very toxic.
And that's where things really started to fall apart. Because this is the same person who built her entire platform on helping people feel comfortable in their own body. And now, the message felt completely different. It was like she was fully inconsistent with what she was sharing with the world. And for essentially all of her audience, that was the final straw. Slow down. How much did I miss? What kind of logic is this? I used to think of you as a role model. It now felt like she had become a completely different person. And that's why this situation is so different from before. Because people didn't turn on Clara Dao for one decision. They turned on her because she doesn't feel like the same person anymore. Both the message and the content had changed, and over time, the trust had disappeared. Because when someone builds their entire platform on one idea, and then slowly moves away from it, people notice. But from the outside looking in, it just looks like a desperate last attempt for relevance. Because in the end, it wasn't the controversy that lost her audience. It was everything that came after it. Her not being able to let go of her biggest moment, which, unfortunately for her, was not something to be proud of. Her TikTok has stalled in followers for over 2 years now, and her YouTube is looking even worse, with only negative numbers in the last couple years. There's essentially no chance that Clara recovers from this situation, where the best possible outcome would just be to fade into irrelevancy.